This is Bruce Bochy, and you're listening to the Ranger Report.
Oh, the Ranger Report. Yeah, the Ranger Report. If you want the inside scoop, listen to the Ranger Report. Oh, here we go!
This is the Ranger Report podcast. News, insights, predictions, interviews, and information about the World Series champion Texas Rangers, from the major leagues to the minor leagues. And now, here are your hosts, Ben Dieter, Tyler Nilson, Kane McCutcheon, and CJ Berryman.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ranger Report podcast. We are on the Fans First Sports Network. We are your source for the Texas Rangers on the Fans First Sports Network. I'm joined by Kane McCutcheon, and CJ couldn't be here, so we are joined by my friend Nathan Hague. What's up, fellas?
Not much. How's it going? Good to be here.
It's a nice, what day is it? Thursday? Yeah, nice Thursday afternoon. Baseball gets started up again tomorrow. The Rangers, I almost forgot. We're also on the Comfort Air online studio, and we are a part of Dallas Sports Nation. So we are so glad to be here. Tonight, we got a few interesting things to do. We're going to change it up a little bit to start off. Nathan, he's not only a huge Ranger fan, and of course, Nathan and I were podcasters before podcasting was cool. Back in 2008, 9, 10, 11, way back then.
We were way ahead of our time, by the way.
Yeah, we had like 1 billion downloads a minute. I can't remember what it was. It was a lot, but
y'all had a podcast before everyone had a podcast.
Yeah, we had a podcast before everyone and their mom had a podcast.
Right, exactly. No, it was. It's so crazy how times have changed. But I do like. I'm not trying to say this to toot our own horn, but honestly, I feel like we were probably a good decade ahead of our time.
I think we were too.
It wasn't nearly as popular of a thing back then.
No, and the recording quality, you guys should have heard it. It was basically we were over the phone. It sounded terrible, and we paid so much money for that site too, and it sounded terrible.
Thankfully, we had sponsorships to get.
We did, yeah, we did. But anyway, we had a lot. It was a lot of fun back in the day. But anyway, Nathan has done the unbelievable as a professional journalist. He wrote a book. I'm just kidding. It's not unbelievable. Wrote a book called 4th and 20 Years, correct? Fourth down and 20 years. 4th down and 20 years. Yep. So you guys need to check it out. It's available now on Amazon. It's available. Yeah, there it is right there. Look at that. 4th down and 20 years. So I actually was honored enough to be able to read it, an early copy of it before Nathan finished the book a couple years ago. And I really enjoyed it. And now I'm reading the real thing. I hadn't finished it yet because I'm lazy. I tried, but I couldn't get it done before the show. But anyway, why don't you tell us a little bit about the story, Nathan?
Yeah, first of all, it's about a football coach, high school football coach, returning to his high school alma mater, to be head football coach there. When he was a player, he was a game away from the state championship, broke his leg, lost the game, so didn't get to go to state, and lost his scholarship, yada yada. Well, now as coach, he actually wakes up in the past as a high school senior on homecoming game, and I can't even remember my own book. Jeez. And so now he's got 20 years of memories, and so remembers a lot of the stuff that happens. He's got the athleticism now again as an 18, 19-year-old, and he's got the wisdom of from coaching. So he's just able to completely dominate, and he wants to keep everything on the field different. Like he wants to change things. Like he wants to be as dominant as can be on the field. Off it, he wants to keep everything the same, so that way he can get back to his wife and family and all that. But the dominance, all of a sudden offers come in left and right. And that he had opportunities now that he didn't have before. If he goes that route, he may not be able to get to his wife and have their kids and everything. So just that his priorities, you kind of see the shift throughout. And it's a fun premise to think about, because you don't really think in terms of just how much one action can change everything.
Yeah, it's totally true. So it's a really good story. You guys go check it out. You can find it now on Amazon. You can get a hard copy, or you can, like I did, if you have the Kindle app, just download the digital copy and read it that way. So go check it out.
4th down in 20 years.
It's a good book. Like I said, I haven't finished it, the updated version, but I liked what I read the first time. So I think I'm going to enjoy. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it, a little over halfway through it. So looking forward to finishing. Anyway, let's start now with a little bit of Rangers talk, and we'll remind you guys about the book before
Well, that's
we
all I got
close.
for you. Thank you. I'm just kidding.
Wow, what a great guest. Thanks, Nathan. Have a great day. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So let's start, came with the All-Star Game, where yours truly was brilliant and guessed that it was going to be a tie. Totally not as a joke. I knew that ahead of time. So talk about that. It was a crazy All-Star Game. A lot of fun to watch.
So bizarre. Yeah.
Well, unlike Ben, I did not get the script early, so I did not know what was going to happen. But yeah, I mean, what a fun game to watch. At first, it was kind of the NL got out to a big lead, and All-Star Game is always fun to watch. Obviously, you get to see the best on best to go at it, and in a broader conversation, it's the best All-Star Game in all of sports because there's not a lack
100%.
of effort. You can't. Full competitiveness. Like in the NBA, the guys are jogging. I love basketball, and I'll be the first to tell you the NBA All-Star Game sucks. But this is by far the best All-Star Game in all of sports. It delivered once again this year, and the ending, the swing off, what a genius idea. I mean, everyone would rather watch that than extra innings, right? And but as soon as, obviously Kyle Schwarber coming up there, winning it, Schwarber and Alonso back-to-back, that's a deadly combo there in the swing off. So kind of as soon as I heard that, I kind of thought it was wraps. Obviously, unfortunately, we didn't have a Ranger in it, but was still very exciting to watch. A great outcome.
Yeah, Ben, I do want to point out, I don't think it's just a coincidence that you come on have me talk about my book about someone who travels the past and then is able to predict the All-Star Game score as a tie, because that's such a rare thing. No, seriously, that is a bizarre thing just to predict, a tie, because ties don't happen in baseball, at least not professionally. But no, it had everything. Just, the comeback, and it was just it almost felt scripted in some ways, but it was very entertaining. I 100% agree about baseball's All-Star Game being the best. The Pro Bowl's a joke. It's an old and not funny one by this point. Yeah. But and it's not just, baseball's not the best just because the others suck. It's because it is high quality. It's a high quality game, and you do have the best of the best, and the best what the game actually has to offer. Whereas some of these other sports, you have the best players dropping out left and right. Don't want to be a part of it. And so, and I was at last year's All-Star Game, and it was just a really cool thing to be able to walk around and see all these. Like I said, the best of the game that the sport has to offer, and I hope that doesn't ever go down the same road that some of these other All-Star Games have.
You mean you don't want to see a wiffle ball home run contest instead of a real game?
That's essentially what it is. Yes, that's a good comparison, actually, which is a sad thing to think. That's a good
I don't know, man. Have you ever seen professional wiffle ballers? It's pretty impressive. But yeah, you don't want to see that for the MLB All-Star Game.
MLB All-Star Game, right?
No, but I agree with you. I agree with both of you. It really is the best of all the All-Star Games. Like Kane said, unfortunately, the NBA is entertaining, but the NBA All-Star Game is not entertaining. It's just guys running up and down the court dunking, and everyone else applauding them on both teams. It's pretty much all it is. Right. And like you said, football, is it still flag football? I haven't watched it in 8-10 years.
I haven't watched it either, but it's flag football now, yeah.
Yeah, it's flag football.
I watched 5 minutes of the one last year, and I was like, yeah, that's enough of that.
Yeah, and it's not the NFC versus the AFC, right? You have team captains who pick their guys.
Well, no, it is now, but
it's back. Okay. Anyway, it's not good.
Sanders, yeah.
And you look at too, the NHL has ditched the All-Star Game completely for great reasons. Obviously, what they did with the Four Nations face-off was incredible, but. Yeah, I feel like every other sport, the All-Star Game loses value. Baseball is the one where I feel like the value is still there.
Right.
Yeah, and the USA versus Canada was pretty watchable this year when the fight in the first 3 seconds of the hockey game, that was pretty fun, actually. That got the whole world talking about it, which was pretty amazing. But now if hockey wants to do that for the All-Star Game, just have fights, I think everybody would watch that. Right. No game, just have guys go at it on the ice. I think people would, even teammates,
As long as no stars players are involved, I'm good.
Exactly. I'm good with that.
Some of our division rivals out there. We get some Winnipeg Jets and Colorado Avalanche in there.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, the All-Star Game was fun. The Home Run Derby was pretty fun. It always is. I think it's always fun to watch. But Nathan, I'll start with you. I really don't enjoy. What kind of announcing can you do to the Home Run Derby? It's just never very good.
Yeah. In fact, it's funny you say that because I had it muted or turned down very low, while doing other things.
Yeah.
because for that very reason, like you can just look up and see it for yourself, you know, and like even if you're doing it in the other room and have it on, it's like, oh, you hear, oh, and that one's gone too. Oh, he's got another one.
Yeah.
It's all that for the home run derby. It's all the visual aspect of it.
Exactly. And I remember back in the day of Chris Berman, back, like on every single home run. It's like, you know, okay, buddy, that's a nice shtick, but not 746 times a home run derby.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Kane, did you listen intently to the announcing during the home run derby?
Can't say that I did, no. Yeah, but it was entertaining. I thought the star power this year was there to an extent for the home run derby, which interestingly enough, you know, isn't always there. Obviously, Ben getting the correct pick.
Yep. I did pick Cal Raleigh. Yeah, I picked Cal Raleigh. That's right. I won both.
Yeah, and my guy.
He would have been my pick.
Yeah.
My guy that I picked going down in the final was tough, but you know, I take credit for that. Not a lot of people picked Junior Cameron, and I did.
Yeah.
He made the final, so
that's true.
I'll take some credit for that. But yeah, no, it was very entertaining. It's always very, very entertaining. I love to see it. You know, I think for the most part, they do a good job of getting stars in it. I think like the NBA dunk contest where we've got G Leaguers that are doing it now, they've totally lost that. The MLB has that. But I would like to see just like, you know, obviously I think we all would like to see a full out all-star, you know, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, like everyone in the home run, you know, everyone would love to see that. But knowing that obviously is tough to make happen, I think they do a pretty good job of getting recognizable names in there. Yeah, they delivered once again this year.
So let's talk a minute. I didn't text this to Kane, but let's talk a minute about one Cal Raleigh. Have you ever seen a catcher having a season like Cal Raleigh is having offensively?
Gosh. Unbelievable, isn't it?
It is. Kane, what do you think about it?
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I mean, what he's doing, and I saw a stat today, he's caught the third most innings in baseball this year, and he's still doing all this. It's insane. And he's always torched the Rangers ever since he came into the league. Like, I remember my first year on the beat was 22, and like he started cooking the Rangers that year. And I'm like, this Cal Raleigh guy, I know I've only been on the job for less than a year, but who is this guy? And now all of a sudden, you know, everyone's taking notice, and yeah, it's impressive to watch. Yeah,
I agree. So Nathan, do you remember any? I mean, we've had a lot of good catchers in the league, but I don't ever remember one having an offensive year like Cal Raleigh's having.
I've been trying to think how far do you have to go back. I mean, we've obviously seen some good catchers, but like how far back? Like, I don't know. Jared Saltalamacchia.
I mean, Pudge had some great offensive years, but
Pudge
still,
had some great,
Still, I can't remember one. He didn't have one quite like this.
I can think back to when I first started watching baseball, the premier battle at catcher every year in the National League was Buster Posey and Yadier Molina, and they weren't even doing anything close to this. So it's 6.
As far as
maybe
as far as catching and throwing out runners, though, Yadi was one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah, Pudge.
Yeah, Pudge. Pudge throwing to second was pretty amazing. That's before Kane's time, but Pudge throwing to second, that was pretty amazing to watch for me and Nathan back in the day. And some of the people I watched are before Nathan's time. I'm the old man on this show, so even when CJ's on, I think I got him by 10 years.
I mean, I remember watching some Yogi Berra too, but
I saw him live, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it has been fun, even though he's a Mariner, and he's one of those likable guys too. Like, he's not a jerk, he's a really friendly, really nice guy. He's not a bad person to be around, which makes you sad when they're on a team you don't like, when they turn out to be a good person. That was always my problem with like Ichiro and, people like Derek Jeter and Mike Trout. Why do they have to be nice guys? Why can't they be jerks? And then we can hate them.
If he's on any team other than the Rangers and the AL West, I'd rather it be Seattle.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But anyway, it's been.
I know too. We're all going to be rooting for him when he is the catcher of Team USA this spring. And
yes, we will. That is correct.
Much deserved. So that's going to be exciting to see him there. Hopefully, he'll blast a couple there.
Yeah, he definitely earned that one. Definitely earned that one. All right, well, let's look ahead a little bit. We got some seasons starting back up again in a day. Actually, we're recording this on a Thursday, so tomorrow we got a season starting back up again. And the Rangers, well, let's first, before we go into what's going on, talk about what happened. Once again, Kane, the Rangers put Jake Berger on the injured list. So sort of update what's going on with that.
Yeah, just the same left quad strain that he dealt with in Houston. It seems like we know with pretty much everyone, this quads and obliques, those are tough to get rid of, and so he's going back to the IL. They're going to call up Rowdy Tellez. Obviously, that won't be official until around game time tomorrow, but he's going to come back up from AAA. Can confirm. I like how every time something like this happens, people don't understand how sources work. And they're like, Kane, why are you so late? And other guys, why are you so late? I'm like, I'd rather be late than wrong, right? But Rowdy Tellez coming back up. He's only played 4 games with Round Rock since he was signed about 10 days ago, but he's played well. He's hit 333, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He's probably, he's going to slot in there against righties at first base. Josh Smith will probably play third, and then when a lefty's on the mound, it will either be Smith or Duran. But it was cut by Seattle earlier this year. I'm sure, he played a couple of the games that the Mariners came here and played. So he's been around the big leagues this year. Obviously, we know big power. So it'll be interesting to see if he can, kind of stick, because I know we're going to talk about the trade deadline. But before we do that, obviously, it's pretty clear the Rangers are looking for a bat, and, that he could be it if he can stick.
Yeah, I agree with you. So Rowdy Tellez will be coming up. And like you said, it's not official yet. It's not been made official. It won't be. But let's talk about another Ranger who's at AAA right now, and that is Josh Young, playing for the Round Rock Express. He is hitting .250 right now with Round Rock. He has 7 hits, 2 RBIs, and he's only had 28 at bats. So how long do you think he's going to have to be down there before the Rangers call him back up?
Yeah, man, that's always so tough to tell. But I think as of now, I don't think you've really seen, and I can't say I haven't been too tuned in to his at bats, but judging by the stats and what I've heard, I don't think you've really seen anything that warrants a call back up just yet. So I think it could still be a minute, but we'll see. That's going to be kind of something interesting to monitor. When does he come back up? But then not only that, it's, well, how do you litigate playing time when he does come back up, right? Because Josh Smith is swinging the bat exceptionally well. He's got to play somewhere. You've got the trade deadline looming in a matter of days where they're going to be looking to add a bat. That litigates another spot. So it's like, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what's that like when he does come back up.
Do you think they might use him as trade bait?
It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I don't. That's not something I've heard specifically, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. I think that it's very rare that you see major leaguer for major leaguer at the deadline. Obviously, if I had to bet on it, I would say no, but I think, if they feel like a change of scenery is good for a guy like that, we know Chris Young is aggressive. I wouldn't call it likely, but I wouldn't put it out of the picture, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't.
I like the guy. I like the guy, but it's he can't stay healthy.
Yeah. No, and he can't stay healthy. And then this year, just it's bad. What was he batting? Kane, like 115 in the last 6 or 7 weeks, with striking out over 60% of the time. So I think it's the wrist, the hand. I think that it affected his swing, even though he's rehabbed and all that. I think it still bothers him. I think it's affecting his swing. And I think that's what's going on. Just if I had to guess, because when you break your hand twice in 2 seasons, as a guy who takes violent swings like Young does, that can't be good for your wrist to have to take those swings all the time like that. And I'm just wondering, it's kind of worn down on him. He's going to have to find a new way to swing or what? Because Kane, they sent him down to work on his swing and try to get it better. And I'm wondering if they're going to have to change it because of that.
Yeah. I mean, he's down there to work on his approach, right? He's got to change up some stuff. He's expanding. They're going to look at all those options, and it stinks because you don't even really have to be around the team to know that this is a guy that loves baseball. Like, he loves to play. Obviously, we know he's into card collecting. Like, in my talks to him, like, he's a guy that keeps up with the league. Like, he loves baseball, and he's battling himself right now. It's just not working out, and he recently said, like, he's doing everything he can to get back up, and he's, itching to turn it around, and has been for a while. So and like Nate said, he's a likable guy. You just hope that it does turn around for him.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. For sure. Well, I hope it does. I really like him as a person, really like him as a player. I got to talk to him at spring training the year I went. Super nice guy. So hopefully he does come back. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So let's move ahead to that a little bit. We got the trade deadline coming up. So a few people I think, okay, first of all, I'll ask both of you, and I think you're both with me. Are the Rangers buyers or sellers at the deadline?
Are you asking what we think they?
Yeah, what you think? Do you think they're going to be buyers, or you think they're going to be sellers?
I think
they're
buyers.
40. Yeah, they're 47 and 48, or 48 and 49. What do you think, Kane?
I think buyers are going to try to try to do enough to get over that hump and break that past that 500. And
Yeah, I agree. I think they're buyers. I think that's partially because it doesn't take an overhaul, right? Like you're looking at adding one bat and, one or two bullpen pieces. It's not 23 where you need to go out and get two starters. So yeah, I think as of now, I think they're sellers. They're right in the thick of it, and you can't look and see 3.5 games back of the wild card and think seller. You can't.
You meant buyer. You said seller.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I caught that too.
Oh, yeah,
you meant buyer. I knew what you meant. Yeah,
that's a week's worth of baseball. I think they're buyers for sure.
I agree. Okay, so we all agree that they're buyers. Who do you think is off limits to get somebody? Like, for a while I was thinking they were going to move Adolis. I don't think they are now. I think Seager and Simeon are off limits. But I think Josh Smith is off limits because he's the best hitter on the team. But somebody like I don't know. Who do you think the Rangers? Because do you think they would move a major leaguer, or you think it's going to be all minor leaguers, Kane?
Yeah, I don't think they would move a major leaguer. I think it's going to be all minor leaguers. If they do move a major leaguer, I think it'll be to get prospects in return. Maybe do a little bit of both, which is rare. You don't see teams do a little bit of both. But if they really wanted to do both, they could. But I think. I don't suspect that happening. I think it's going to be within the farm system.
Yeah, I think so. Go ahead, Nathan.
No, I was about to say, I agree. I mean, especially because if you're just trying to add to what you've already got to get over that hump, I mean, I don't think shaking up the, major league roster is going to do a whole lot of good. I think I think it's from the minors.
I think if someone blows them away on Adolis, they would trade him. If someone, because he's got half a year left on his contract. I think if someone said, we'll give you 2 top 15 prospects and another single A player for Adolis, I think the Rangers would have to think about it depending on who the prospects were. But I don't think they want to move him, like Nathan said. I don't think they want to shake things up. They just want to add to what they have. I mean, they just took 2 out of 3 from the first place Astros. They finished strong. The offense is coming around, including Adolis Garcia. I don't know that you want to shake all that up right now, and even some of the role players they have coming off the bench are doing really well. The only one I could see maybe being moved could be Ezekiel Duran, just because there's not really a place for him on this team, especially if they bring in another bat who can play infield or outfield. They don't really have a place for Ezekiel Duran. But other than that, I think Kane's right. Unless someone gives them a deal where they get a bunch of good minor league prospects in return for somebody, I think they're buyers all the way, or I think they could just stay if they feel like there's not a good enough deal out there.
I do hear that Nico Harrison is trading, is trading them all to LA.
No, I heard that he called Chris Young and told him to trade DeGrom and Evaldi for Clayton Kershaw. So.
Or maybe he'll just send Cooper Flagg to the Rangers to become a baseball player.
Aren't you glad you're not a Mavericks fan, Kane?
I am very glad. I'm glad. Be a Rockets fan at this point, yes.
No, but I think either they hold or they go like you both thought. They go and get a bat. I don't think I know a bullpen maybe if it's there, but they have a pretty dang good bullpen. Like they could use somebody, and remember they're getting Josh Boers back sometime in the next few weeks. So that bullpen is going to be stronger, and they're getting John Gray back, which how do you put him? I'd love to see him in the rotation, but who do you take out right now to put John Gray in that rotation?
Well, they do have a good bullpen, but I think that a lot of Ranger fans may be surprised at what they do as far as the bullpen goes. I think they're going to hunt for someone that someone that the average fan would know. I think it may be one piece, and I'm not saying it's going to be, the top end, best of the best, closer, which I could make an argument that there is no such thing as top end, best of the best closer, because I think that bullpen is extremely overrated, especially in free agency. But that being said, obviously there are guys that are better than others, and I think that they will tap into that market. I think they need to add one if they're going to go for it. And really, I think it is that defined closer guy. So I think that wouldn't be surprised if it's a name that you know.
Here's the thing. I mean, I do think that there'll be buyers, as we all discussed, but at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily be entirely disappointed if they did go in, if they were sellers. Because my thing is, think about it. If you were told at the beginning of the 23 season that, okay, the Rangers are going to win the World Series, but after this, there's going to be several down years, I think we would all be like, hey, sign me up for this.
Yeah.
Because it was that satisfying. And so I think right now, because 24 season was in a lot of ways a victory lap from the 23 World Series. And so there's still enough of that hangover that we can still hang on to for a little while to celebrate that, because especially after what we faced in 10 and 11. And it was like such a letdown. So but that crap, like the 11 game 6, in some ways made the 23 World Series that much more worth it. And I think it's kind of that same aspect, except then you just have it afterward. And it's like, okay, so we've overcome this. I'm good now. I'm good for, and it was like, typically when your team wins it all, it's like, you just makes you desire that much more winning.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just like, okay, that was so great. That was so satisfying. I can survive off that for a while. And so I say all that to say, I'm okay with the idea of them being sellers and then building for the future.
Yeah, a lot of fans aren't, but I see where you're coming from. And I agree. After you waited 11 years from 2012
right.
years from 2011 to 2023, and Kane, you're old enough to remember 2011, right? Yeah, you remember it. So, I mean, pretty much
2011. 6-year-old me was
so you pretty much waited your whole life between World Series appearances to see them win one, where we waited our whole lives to see them get to the World Series, then had to wait another 12 years to see them actually win one. So it was incredible watching them win the World Series. And I'm with Nathan. I didn't really care what happened in 2024. I was good with it because
exactly.
Because they were World Series champions. They were the defending World Series champions until the Dodgers took that away. And then this year, we had lots of hope. It hadn't worked out great, but like Kane said, they're 3.5 games out of the wild card. It's not like they're 2024 where they're 12, 15 games back. They're right there, and they're less than 10 games behind the Astros, I believe, at this point. After I think they're 9.5 back from the Astros after beating them 2 out of 3 before the break, and the Astros went on a big losing streak right before the break as well. So they lost 5 of their last 6 games. So the Astros, weren't looking great. So can the Astros continue losing? Of course. Can the Rangers continue winning? Of course. And a month and a half from now, we could be talking about the Rangers being 2 games out of first place in the division. You never know. So I think buyers is what they are. I think they're going to go out and get someone. And like Kane said, Chris Young is perfect at fooling everybody and misdirection. So I think they're going to pick up someone that no one sees coming at all. Like I think they're going to get someone. Yeah.
I was about to say here, an aspect of it too is this year, like as opposed to last year, we knew last year, all the year, that only one team from the AL West was going to make the playoffs. Now this year, that can definitely be different. And if you're Houston, do you really want that home field advantage or home field disadvantage, whatever it's called?
Home field disadvantage for Houston.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So
yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting situation because while they are only 3 back in the wild card, you can see the wild card. I mean, I'm not going to say it's starting to get cluttered, but they're definitely like the AL East is going to be insane to watch coming down the stretch. I mean, like Austin winning 10 games in a row. Like, are you kidding me? Who would have expected that? We knew they were going to be a good team, but the Devers trade and this type of fashion.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The Rays playing the way that they are in a minor league stadium, they're still in it. The Blue Jays are the hottest team in baseball right now, and they've overtaken the Yankees for first place. Like that, the East is getting cluttered, and so it's interesting to see. But I will say this: the East and the Central have almost flipped in a sense from the start of the year, right? When the Central was real cluttered and it looked like the Yankees were going to run away with the East. Now it's flipped. The East is real cluttered and the Tigers are running away with the Central. So, there's not a crazy shift there. And, I know we've pointed out, they're still in it. They're 3.5 back. And when you've got this pitching, you line them up in especially a 3-game series against anyone and feel good about it. So, yeah, I think Chris Young has shown that he's aggressive and he does work in secret. Like I always tell people, I found out that Jacob deGrom signed with the Rangers on an email when the Rangers emailed me and told me, like, I had no sources, no none of that. Like that's how tight-lipped this stuff is. So it is going to continue to be that way. But we've seen that he's aggressive, right? Like even last year, like he made moves to add major league pieces to the team. He did sell off Lorenzen, but then he brings in Kelly, brings in Chafin, addresses 2 areas of need. And so we've seen that, like, he's an aggressive GM. He did it at 23. He's going to do what he has to do. I'll tell you, that dude wants to see the Texas Rangers win maybe more than anyone. Like he's from here. It's so important to him to have a winning team here. And he's going to do what it takes to make that happen.
Yeah, he's going to do everything he can. I mean, and, if they don't go to the playoffs, it would probably be considered probably the biggest waste of pitching in the history of Major League Baseball, because if you get in the playoffs and you have Eovaldi and DeGrom back to back every series, like that's who would you rather have as your number 1, 2 starters going into the playoffs than Nathan Eovaldi and Jacob deGrom? And then, of course, if he comes back, you've got Tyler Mahle, who was having a fantastic season before he got injured. And then Patrick Corbin, who's been a surprise, So, by the way, Corbin goes tomorrow against Detroit, so that's going to be a great game. But anyway, the Rangers, if they can just sneak in, they have got the rotation to make something happen in the postseason. Because you need what? You need what? 3 starters basically in the postseason.
Do we really have to point to 23? Not as in a bragging way, but just look at the example.
Yeah, look at what Montgomery and Eovaldi and what they did in the playoffs, and even when he came in, I forgot. Oh, Max Scherzer, what he did in the few starts he did, even though he got injured, he pitched really well. So when you have guys that have that experience, and DeGrom, that dude is probably itching. He probably hated the fact that he was on the sidelines during that 23 run when they won the World Series, and he wants to win one while he's on the mound. So you get him in, I think these guys would really impress.
Yeah.
All right, let's look ahead to let's try to speak English. Let's look ahead to the Detroit series. We do have, let's see, I just had it up here. We have Olsen against Corbin on Friday night. So you'll be there, Kane. What do you think about that pitching matchup? The Rangers, again, we know it might be scary because they're 1 game out of 500, and we know what happens when they're 1 game out of 500. But how do you see that game going?
Yeah, it's going to be a good pitching matchup, right? Corbin's pitched well, but he's facing maybe the best lineup that he's faced. This Tigers team reminds me of the 23 Rangers, right? They had 6 All-Stars. How about the year that Javi Baez is having? That went from the worst contract in baseball beside Chris Bryant to an all-star player. The year that he's having with the young guys, Riley Green, we knew it was going to happen. But I think the biggest thing now is, like, to me with the Tigers is last year we saw what kind of a run they could go on with those young guys. Now they're getting contributions from some veterans like Javi Baez, like Gleyber Torres, who was also an all-star, Zach McKinstry taking a huge step and becoming an all-star as a utility man. This is the best team in baseball. It's going to be really interesting. Olsen on Friday night, good young starter. Rocker's going to get the start for the Rangers Saturday. We don't know who Detroit is going to throw. And then Sunday, obviously, the pitching matchup between Nathan Eovaldi, who has the lowest ERA in baseball this year, versus the best pitcher in baseball. Like, that's going to be must-see TV on Sunday night. So it's going to be a fun series, but I think if you're the Rangers and you take this series, you look at the big picture and realize that you just took a series from the best team, the 2 best teams in the American League, the Tigers and the Astros, and you've got to feel pretty good about that moving forward. So it's interesting. It's a big opportunity for the Rangers. It's going to be a tough test. Talk about opening the second half with a boom. That'll do it for you.
Well, and you look at what they did to Hunter Brown in that Sunday game. They got to him. They got to him good. Something you hadn't seen a lot this season. He's been really good this year. Man, if they can do the same thing to Skubal, then this team's offense, I think we might be able to say it's back if they can turn around and do that same thing to Skubal. But like you said, if you were able to take 2 out of 3 from Detroit, and then you have Oakland coming in next, I'm not saying they're a pushover. Any division team is never a pushover, but you have to feel really good going into that Oakland series if you take 2 out of 3 from Detroit, Nathan.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's a strong team, but I mean, honestly, like I tend to I tend to lean realistic, not pessimistic. I don't want to get too optimistic either.
Yeah.
We one thing we've learned from the Rangers and Cowboys and Mavericks is that you don't want to be too optimistic, and like keep your expectations low. And if they surpass them, awesome. If not, it's hey. That's an easier pill to swallow.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, they're going to come. Obviously, it's going to take a ton of work, but in a way, like not being active in the All-Star game could maybe help the Rangers. Just kind of rest up and prepare for it.
So yeah, I also think it's interesting they're not pitching DeGrom in that series to get him a little bit more rest, even though he hasn't gone since Saturday. So ought to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've been very clear. They have to monitor his innings. Even DeGrom has admitted, hey, I got to start monitoring my innings. Which honestly, I didn't expect him to admit that. But yeah, they're going to push him back again, kind of like they did in the start the season. And obviously, what's most important is keeping him on the mound. So that's a step in doing that. And I think the thing that Ben has reminded me that we're talking about this series that I have to go back to work tomorrow. So
sorry about that.
That's all right.
That's right. You had an all-star break too.
Yeah, it's going to be fun though. It's been a nice break, but it's going to be fun. Must-see TV. You got to tune into all three of those games. Like this is going to be a fun series for sure.
Yeah, and I'll be in Dallas for a week training, or in Dallas for a week, or not quite a week, but I'll be there for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's game against Oakland. So Kane and I will be together 3 straight days at the ballpark.
All right.
And I'm also going Saturday to the game against Detroit as a fan. So I get to go to 4 of the next 6 games. Oh gosh, I love driving to Dallas. I think my daughter's going with me on Saturday. So
nice.
Her and I are going to go check some baseball. She's a sports fan, but like a casual one. She doesn't like watching on TV, but she does like to go to games. So that means I'm so proud. That means both of my daughters have been to Rangers games this year once she goes with me. So, that's all a dad can hope for, that his daughters continue going to Rangers games once they're out of high school.
There you go.
Nathan, you got that to look forward to. Your kids are kind of young.
My kids are out of high school. They haven't gone in yet, but they are out.
That's true. They are out of high school. They are not in high school. That is correct. All right. One more time before we wrap up, Nathan. 4th down and 20 yards, or 20 years. Sorry.
20, yeah.
I can't speak. 4th down and 20 years. You guys, Amazon.com. And in the show notes, I will put a link to the Amazon where you guys can get the book.
Sweet.
And also we'll tweet it out, and I'll put it on tweet.
That.
It's not tweet anymore. I forget what it's called. But anyway, you guys need to go buy the book. And do not forget, I haven't really done a good job at this, but we are giving one of these away. And We're
still giving that away? Oh my God.
I never actually made a contest to give it away. So this week I'll work on making a contest to give that. I mean, it's right there behind me you guys can't see it because of the way we record, but it's right there behind me. So I have one to give away thanks to my daughter who went to that Rangers game. So we will find a way to give that away here this week because I'm tired of holding on to it. I'm afraid I'm either going to break it or just decide to keep it, which I don't really need to do because I already have one. So we'll give that away this week. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, Kane, enjoy going back to work tomorrow.
Yeah. Speaking of giveaways, though, we got perhaps the best giveaway of the year tomorrow, the pickleball paddle. So I'm very excited.
I know, and I'm not going to be there for that one. I'm disappointed.
Can't wait to get that.
But I get the SFA. Cool. I'm giving it to Nathan, one of them at least. Get the SFA jersey on Saturday. So Nathan, if you guys don't know, he's a journalist in Nacogdoches, covers SFA. So, and he went to SFA. Yeah. So
I went there too. Yeah,
he went to SFA too. So he likes for some reason he likes SFA.
Well, Saturday is my daughter's birthday, so
yeah, I knew that's why you couldn't go. So
yeah.
So not only that, I'll brag on. I got free tickets too to the game thanks to that guy over there.
Hey, there you go.
So go buy his book to pay him back for the free tickets that he gave me. So. All right, guys. Thank you very much. This has been great. We will see you on the next one.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks for listening to the Ranger Report podcast. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and at therangerreport.com.